Okay.
We are not the problem.
Yeah. Do you have a question?
Say that. I was like,
Hate speech does incite violence. Hate speech does incite violence. Black lives matter.
Yeah, gotcha.
These protesters don't want this man to speak. The speaker is Dave Rubin.
Hello, Internet. My name is Dave Rubin. I am the newest host here on The Young Turks.
He was once a leftist.
Obviously, I'm for Obamacare.
You and I both started on the left.
Yeah.
Why did you switch?
Oh, I woke up.
He woke up, he says, after he started doing a podcast and interviewed guests like Larry Elder.
The most blatant racist example you can come up with right now.
Cops are more willing to shoot if the perpetrator is black
What's your data?
than white.
What's your basis for saying that? 70% of the homicides are black on black. The idea that a racist white cop and shooting unarmed black people is a peril to black people is BS.
And he just beat me with fact over fact over fact about how systemic racism doesn't exist. Not that racism doesn't exist.
The more people he interviewed, the more he questioned his former beliefs.
I realized that not everyone that these people disagreed with could be a racist and a bigot and a homophobe and a sexist. And that was the argument that was constantly being laid out. If there was a Republican that gave a speech and said, we should lower taxes, their answer was, he's racist. Now that actually makes no sense.
Rubin now considers himself a classical liberal. On his podcast, he tries to interview people from the left and the right.
Should government subsidize gay marriage and straight marriage the same way?
Rubin was surprised that many people on the right were willing to debate.
For all the differences that we might have, I'm pro-choice, most of them are pro-life. You know, I'm against the death penalty, most of them are for the death penalty. They're all willing to sit down and discuss ideas.
When I went from left to libertarian, the right was willing to argue.
If you believe in the individual, then you fundamentally understand that individuals are different. So you are willing to sit down with someone different than you.
Some of his podcasts last 1 or more hours. I never thought that people would listen to interviews that long, but millions of people watch.
I didn't know what was going to happen, but I started doing more of these long-form interviews and people kept watching, and then suddenly I realized, whoa, there's a lot of people that are thinking the things that I'm thinking. Not just me, by the way, there's Joe Rogan and there's others. We're allowing people to go, all right, let's really listen to something. Let's really unpack an idea. You don't learn anything when you watch CNN. You will actually be dumber having watched CNN.
Because you have your own issues and demons to resolve.
All right, guys, we're live on the YouTube.
Because the Rubin Report features some controversial guests.
Milo Yiannopoulos, welcome to the show.
And because he sometimes criticizes leftists, and maybe because his podcasts are so successful, his former colleagues now hate him.
you know, the right wing loves him now because he's a puppet for the right wing. He was lazy when he worked here. He's lazy now with his ridiculous show.
She just sounds envious.
I lost friends. I still lose friends now. I mean, it's incredible because this goes to the laziness of the argument of the left. They believe that if you disagree with them, that you're evil.
Speech does incite violence. Hate speech does incite violence.
Evil is what these protesters call him.
Ladies, I'll gladly take a question from you. Have we established that already?
They say just allowing him to speak is a form of violence. This woman said Rubin's insensitive to the victims on campus.
Biased incidents reports and hate crimes have gone up.
Yeah, so...
And people have been spit on, and people have been threatened, and people have been told to go home to their country.
It doesn't mean that bad people don't exist, but tell me about your oppression. Maybe we can work through something. I mean, tell me about your oppression.
So I have no reason to sit and talk about my own oppression because that's just like mental energy.
Well,
that, unless I'm going to be paid.
It's an oppression Olympics. It's a hierarchy of oppressions.
Oppression Olympics?
Yeah, so you've got to figure out how you are oppressed. If you have a limp, you're this much oppressed, or if you're a Jew, this much oppressed, or a Muslim, this much oppressed. Everyone wants to be oppressed.
There's truth behind it. Blacks have been oppressed. Women, some still are. Women are sometimes oppressed.
No society is perfect, but the United States, by and large, has given more freedom to more people from every walk of life, regardless of your skin color, your sexuality. We have problems, yes. We can talk about all of those things, but to tell me those are things because you are oppressed, it ain't true, and that idea needs to be decimated.